In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the starter motor on this Volkswagen Jetta. This is going to be located on the transmission side under the hood. Let's get into it. Now there should be a cover over your battery. You want to pop that off. There's clips in the front. Pull that up, then you can access the battery. Want to disconnect the negative terminal, use a 10mm wrench. Loosen up that, disconnect that, and put that out of the way. We're going to pull this cover off. Right here there is a clamp. I'm going to use a straight blade screwdriver to loosen up the clamp. You may need a hose clamp pliers. Disconnect that hose, pull back on that. Then over here, there should be 2 screws on either side. Use a T20 socket. This vehicle does not have those. Grab the cover, just pull it straight up and out of the way. Now down below the battery tray, we can see where there's a little clip right here. Just using a pick, just push back on that clip. Little lock. There we go. I'm just pulling the lock out. I think that tab's actually broken. Just gonna get under here with the pick. Slide it out. Just getting under the front part of the clip, popping that out. You should be able to push on the back side. Disconnect that connector. Now slide this boot back down the wire, out of the way. Now this nut we're going to disconnect. That's the power feed from the battery that goes to the starter. I'm going to use a 13mm wrench, loosen up the nut. Pop that cable off. Now using a 13mm socket, there's a nut that we have to take off. So if you go right down here, just like that, right around the top of the starter, loosen that nut up. Once you get it loose, you should be able to do it by hand. There's a bracket that's holding these wires on. Go. I don't want to drop the nut. All right, the nut's in there. Then this bracket, pull that bracket out of the way. Right there, that bracket. Then under there, there's a stud. We gotta pull that stud out. Using a 18mm socket over the stud, I'm gonna take that out. Reach down and grab that stud. And just pull this bolt out. There we go. Underneath the vehicle, we're going to take these screws out for this shield. Use a T25 socket. grab the shield, and just slide it back. We're going to take this bracket off, use a 13mm socket, take that nut off. Take that nut off and take the bracket, slide that off the stud. We're going to disconnect this connector so it's out of the way. I'll just use a straight blade screwdriver. Just push on the tab and slide it out of the way. Using a 18mm socket, take this stud out. Pull that bolt out. And just grab the starter, break it free from the transmission. Just get it past the wires. And it comes right out. While you have the starter motor out, it's a good idea to look at the flywheel teeth and just make sure you don't have any missing teeth or anything where the flywheel is extremely worn that could cause some issues with the starter not working properly. I'll take the new starter, slide it in position. Get that lined up. I'll take the bolt. Hold it in place and tighten it down. That's good. Before we tighten the lower bolt down, I just want to get the upper bolt in. Make sure that can go in smoothly. Going in. All right, it's tight. Now we're going to torque it. Now we're going to torque this to 55 foot-pounds. Here we go. And we'll torque this one to 55 as well. Put the bracket on. Get that lined up. Take the nut. That started. And I'll tighten that down. And just snug that. That's good. Take the connector, line that up, lock it down. And take the shield, get that lined up. And take the screws, get those started. I'll tighten these down. And torque this nut to 11 foot-pounds. Before I connect the connector, I'm going to put this bracket on. Just get that over the stud. And we'll get the nut on there. Snug that down. And take the connector. That lined up. And connect that down. And I have the little lock tab. If your lock tab didn't come out completely, you can just push that back in. Now I take this cover, get this lined up, get the hoses on. Gonna get lined up for the intake right there. Push it down. And we'll tighten this down. Snug that down. Put the 2 screws in if your vehicle has them. They're just missing on this vehicle. Connect the negative terminal. And tighten down the nut. Snug that down, that's good. If your vehicle has the cover, you want to go over the battery, and then that was a pretty quick and easy job. You're good to go.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.